one final testimony here. This is from Nathaniel. I just found this, and it speaks to me on a lot of levels. Too many forget that the continuance of a people should come from the love of one's own people, and not a hate for the other. I hate the mistakes I made. I wear them every day, and some I even wish I could take back. But time is merciless and flows only forward. I'm trying to rectify them, but some I may just have to live with. It's an uphill battle. Listen to this guy, No White Guilt.
Listen to this guy, No White Guilt. No White Guilt. No White Guilt. Listen to this guy, No White Guilt. No White Guilt. No White Guilt.
Everything from being a man to encouraging your kin to face tattoos to how you identify yourself and your beliefs to discerning your motivations for why you want to see the children of the West survive. Don't make my mistakes. You'll feel like a fool otherwise. Don't make my mistakes. That's from Nathaniel Nelson. A warning to him about the warnings that he wished he had somebody share with him.
Listen to this guy, No White Guilt. No White Guilt. No White Guilt. Listen to this guy, No White Guilt. No White Guilt. No White Guilt. Listen to this guy, No White Guilt. No White Guilt.
And rolling, going free, ladies and gentlemen. Can everybody hear me okay? We have the printer is running in the background because things are happening as we are together. I just want to take a quick look over here and see what screens we have to pull up. And oh, you know what I got to do? Probably this. All right. And I assume everything is working all right. Let's see, who's here with us? Greetings to all. Franklin is with us. Great to see you, brother. Cupcake Explode. And the great Mr. George is with us, ladies and gentlemen. What an honor to have Mr. George with us. And tomorrow we are going to be on, Mr. George and myself, with the great Semyagog, a crowd favorite in the white positive sphere in service to white well-being. So we're going to be breaking things down at 6 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time. Make sure you are with us. Hallandier, great to see you. No White Guilt Clips was first. Dr. Dinger is here. Wonderful to see you. And let's see. Harbinger says, hearing Jason rant and preach like a Southern Baptist creates so much heat that it cooks my dinner. If I put it in front of the screen. That's how we have to be, folks. We have to be passionate. We had so many wonderful testimonials that I had to show up on a roll-in and bring a piece of news to you all that is pertinent as well and read some of these great testimonials that we just ran out of. We went a full 4 hours. We went beyond 4 hours, I think. And we have so many victories and so many successes. It's hard to communicate. And if any of you all have suggestions, I mean, we work together. Remember, this is all about contributing and experimenting, subjecting all of our efforts to the scientific method where they work. We then promulgate them to the total number of our activists, our practitioners. Really, that's the best way, because this is going free as a practice. And we promulgate it and then we use them to great effect in our own lives to reclaim our own destiny, physically, mentally, and spiritually, as well as transform the world around us, which we know we need to do if we are truly going to be healthy and safe and reach our potential, recapture our destiny in different areas that we need to be able to do. The most important thing that you can do right now as a practitioner of going free, even if you're not a practitioner of going free, maybe you'll never be a practitioner of going free. Maybe you think you are just perfect. So you'll never practice. All you need to do then is share the 5 key concepts in your conversations. Some conversations you'll be able to share 1, some conversations 3, but share those key concepts, because the way you change the narrative that we live in is with the words that are used in that narrative. And I think we're getting better at explaining this in simpler terms, so that everybody with their busy lives, they can get it. It's not a challenging thing for them to understand. But while we are together, please, if you have any comments or questions or suggestions, you can make that happen over on Entropy. Probably going to be about 30-40 minutes with you all today at max, because I have many other things to do for White Wellbeing. And get those in over at Entropy. You can also, of course, financially gift there at 15%. Cash App is free to financially gift. You can get in over there as well. Both of those URLs are in the description below. We're going to keep an eye out for anybody troublemakers. So if you see a troublemaker show up, if you see a saboteur, and this is one of the important pieces of news, but I'll finish that sentence. If you see a saboteur show up in the live stream or in one of the threads, please do attempt to bring my attention, or if we have moderators present, their attention to the saboteur. Sometimes people look like saboteurs and they're not. So make sure first that if somebody shows up and they seem like they're trying to sabotage what we're doing, make sure that you address them as though you're just misunderstanding them, or they are still learning and you're helping them to learn. Let them prove to you that they are present for a malevolent reason. And then once that seems to be proven quite clearly, then let's make sure that we get to those people and get rid of them. They have become so, and I have thought, and others have reached out, and I want to give a big thank you to those who have reached out respectfully, and they have told me about the fact that they have reached out respectfully to Mark Collett about the comment section on his BitChute, because it has been a septic tank, and all of the little turds swimming around in that septic tank, they could do nothing but misrepresent me personally, us as practitioners of going free, anybody really just in the white positive sphere whatsoever. All they want is white negative speech. All they want is hatred of other races of mankind. All they want is claims and promises of violence. And when somebody's not doing that, they'll use every slander in the book, every smear, every misrepresentation, every lie, because they know, the anti-whites know well, that if there is a whore, if the septic tank overflows and blows up the front or backyard or whatever it might be, well, there's going to be memory of that, even if none of it was true. So even if none of the things they say, there's going to be memory. Didn't somebody say that those people over there, practitioners of going free, didn't they say XYZ? So, and that's how these things end up becoming, and this something of substance, like there's a possible truth to it. The anti-whites are experts at psychological warfare. And even though I, as your advocate in the white sympathetic sphere for nearly 3 decades, just going ahead and revealing sort of my age, even though I, as your advocate, have been arguing constantly, and still to this day I continue, that we need a psychological defense for the psychological warfare waged against us, it has fallen upon deaf ears. So that's why I had to do it. And that's why all of you great champions have come along and are contributing and are spreading this. And that's why we are now succeeding. Because the weapon here is not voting, it's not violence. The tool is not voting, not violence. It is psychology. It is the narrative that we choose to live in. And if you choose to live in the narrative that the anti-whites write, the anti-white narrative, you can never win. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I have never heard of characters reaching out from the pages of a story and rewriting what takes place. No, the author always has the power. So the only way we can change the outcome for ourselves is to write our own story. It's revolutionary. It sounds simple, but it is revolutionary. And so many of you, those who are, as the great lovely Porge has noted, early adopters, are you have the intelligence, you have the sagacity, you have the courage to be able to be here and allow a metric of success in people's lives and families and arguments and transitioning people from someplace that is anti-white or white negative to white positivity. And then they go out into the world and begin changing the world as well. So it's like a boomerang, to use our friends from Australia. It comes back around. Arthurian, hello to you and welcome. Hungarian Spectator, Hilig, Southern Stoic, J-Link, Karvakik, Yonash, Cupcake, I think I mentioned you, Cupcake Explosion. Hey, great Yiz the Eunuch is with us. So is the sweet Carlisle Cockatoo. Hello, dear lady. Welcome, welcome. And the great Jerome V, who's constantly active, making things happen. Great champions. The stars are out. We always get together, don't we, folks? We're not going to be here long, though. I'm going to get to these things. What should I do first? Should I get to the testimonials first, or should I get to that story first? Maybe I should do the story first, because people are probably here to hear about the story. Chrissy is here. Hello, dear lady. And the great First Last is with us. Wow. I knew I heard a classical music soundtrack suddenly playing in the background, because he has entered. White roses thrown at his feet. Great to see you, brother. The magnificent Kevin, no W Guilt, is with us. Great to see you. All right. Well, look, no, Jared George has said testimonials first. Powerful ways to rouse curiosity and help people connect the dots. That's what we'll do then. So, folks, again, if you have any questions or comments, we're up everywhere. But for briefly, I will point out, though, the very first financial gift came in late on Sunday, and it was from one of our wonderful sisters that you all know very well. I love Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, dear lady. I hope you end up listening to this roll in, because we are mentioning your financial gift of $10 to White Wellbeing. And she actually writes here, for White Wellbeing. What a true champion. We love you. Thank you so very much. Oh, you know, the other one I wanted to mention was we had a financial gift on Sunday from David. And I was unable to give you all the sum because I couldn't figure it out. But I have since then. And David had financially gift $20. $20. Thank you so very much, David, for your financial gift. I hope he ends up watching this roll-in as well. If you see David or I Love Jesus Christ, please tell them that we mentioned their financial gifts. We recognize their financial gifts here at the beginning of the roll-in. Harbinger said he had some other comments for me earlier in the Oh, okay. I did find. I prefer your dark shirt pink tie combo. It's fresh and better looking than the unoriginal light shirt dark tie you got today. Well, I thank you. I appreciate the feedback. I try to I try to I try to mix it up some, and also Harbinger says huge win, sent you a link on Entropy. So I guess it's in the question widget, and I'll take a look at that. We have Bikini Bandit. Now remember, folks, Bikini Bandit, you're just saying Jason. Tag me as No White Guilt to help me see that you are reaching out to me. I'm not ignoring you. Look, we have the great Azimuth Clark is with us, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful to see you, dear sir. And Bikini Bandit says, please address the claim that the claims that have been made by Nick Griffin today. We did actually on PWR. So if you go back and watch, I mean, the whole beginning of the show on PWR is Sven talking about how this trial, these charges, began before there was a PA, and now things are playing themselves out. And of course, the anti-whites in the government and judicial system there, penal system, they're dragging it out as a form I perceive as psychological warfare, because you can't have this doom sitting in front of you. They know that it makes it hard for a person to function properly. So they keep dragging this out to make it worse and worse for him. And of course, they took a bunch of equipment that they did not need to take in order to make it impossible, or not impossible, but much more difficult for him to do the work that he does and for Mark and for his network. But they were able to get the new equipment up and running, and maybe they'll get the old stuff back. And then hopefully, Sven will be able to get out of this without being fined, or I don't know how bad it can be. But apparently on the secondary charge, all they need to do is be able to prove that anyone listening could have concluded something unsavory about another group of people. And that seems like a really low bar. That's why I said I was very concerned when Sven said that the prosecutors had no interest in what he was going to be presenting as his defense. To me, that says that they know they have it in the bag. I hope that's not the case. Let's get to Simon JJ. Writes here, the 5 key concepts yield immense power when used correctly. I've found it either opens up people's curiosity, or it just shuts down the argument of those who refuse to be reached. So we know we have the 5 key concepts: anti-white, anti-whiteism, anti-white narrative, white erasure, and Western kind. Those are the 5 key concepts that you have to use if you're going to do nothing else. But of course, most of you here today are going to be the ones who are going free and doing a lot more than improving yourselves. And using the 5 key concepts is only a part of what you will be doing, using all of the lexicon dialectics, the keywords, and these powerful concepts that set our people free, that set us in a new story that enables us to win in service to white well-being. Thank you very much for that, Simon. We have Patriot 14 writes, conservatives will give credit to Western civilization for what they believe in. For example, economic freedom and freedom of speech. Yet they give no credit to the people who made Western civilization. When you say Western kind, it will give them no choice other than to do so. Anti-whites, conservatives specifically, constantly try to separate Western civilization from its people. They can't do that when you use that term. They can't do that when you use that term. Precisely, brother, precisely. That is exactly what the anti-whites, whether they're conservatives or call themselves leftists or whatever it might be, that is what they always want to do. They want to make everything an abstraction. They want to separate everything from the people, Western kind, who made it. And so when you use this key concept, Western kind, in the conversation, and for those folks who say, oh, I feel it feels tough to use a new word, give me a break. You do it all the time. As soon as the anti-whites on that idiot box called the television tell you, here's a new word, or in that idiot paper called the newspaper, whatever it might be, that webzine, they say, well, here's a new word, here's a new phrase for X, Y, or Z. You take it up like this in an instant, like the word woke. Suddenly woke. Everybody's fine saying that. You sound like an idiot to me, but everybody's fine. They have no problem. No insecurity about saying woke or anything else new. There'll be another new term in the next 6 months. The anti-whites will roll out and the idiots will just pick it right up. So Westman, M-E-N and M-A-N, Western kind, get over it. If you feel uncomfortable, get over it. I mean, can you actually imagine a scenario where you live to 100 years of age or 110, and you really get to see how horrific everything gets because we didn't recapture our destiny, and your great grandkids say, well, why didn't we take back our destiny? And then you have to say, I felt uncomfortable using Western kind. I felt uncomfortable using Westman. It just made me uncomfortable. So you get to live in hell now. This is a magnificent testimonial. Conservatives will give credit to Western civilization for what they believe in. For example, economic freedom and freedom of speech. They love those things, but who made those things? Who preserves those things? Yet they give no credit to the people who made Western civilization, precisely, every single time. When you say Western kind, it will give them no choice. They have to give credit to us. Western kind is us. It comes, these things that they love come from us. How many times have you heard the argument, I know I have endlessly, from white sympathetics out there who say, well, we just need to bring over all these conservative-minded people. We just need to bring over all these libertarian-minded people, and they can't find a way to do so. Well, you haven't been able to find a way because you didn't figure it out like I did. That's just the way it is. And now you can be bright like all of these brilliant people who incandescently show up in the live stream when we are going live. And they say, my God, this works, and I'm going to take it to the world and change the world with it. True champions. So we name the people that it comes from, and then they can't escape it anymore. Well said, Patriot. Lapis writes here about the 5 key concepts. I've got a few people already repeating it, brother. It works with 4 exclamation points. This fast. They're not going to be able to get it, Jason. They're not going to be able to get it. It's cringe. Whenever anybody says something, when you present something like this and they say it's cringe, that's them saying, the translation there is, I have no argument for why I should not use this or use that, but I just don't like you. And so I'm just trying to destroy you. So it's an admission of defeat when they say that. Oh, it's cringe. Okay. Thank you for your admission of defeat. Thank you for your forfeit. Magnificently done, Lapis. Thank you. We have the great Nathaniel Nelson here, ladies and gentlemen. I have a request. Can someone clip out Jason talking about Aruna Kiliani closing up shop? We have a highly visible, quantifiable, measurable victory, which we here spearheaded, made possible only by going free. That can be replicated again and again, and it needs to be promoted left, right, and center. All caps now, he writes, let the world know it is us who's going to get this done. Lots of great victories on tonight's stream. Make sure to celebrate them, friends. Captain's orders. Just don't get too rowdy. Our job is far from over. Amen to that. Everything you said there, brother, that is absolutely the case. We spearheaded, and remember, by the way, that I was on PWR talking about this, and Duke said, oh, it's not going to do anything. I told everybody about how we had the letter, and we were going to be sending the letter, and people brilliantly crafted letter by people in the outreach team. Who was it? Naterific and Nathaniel, or a big applaud and laudation to the authors and everybody was going to be sending that to various places. And Duke said, "Oh, it's not going to do anything." Well, I can sympathize for where he's coming from, because inside the anti-white narrative, using white negative language, you won't accomplish anything. If you write a letter to complain about Aruna Kiliani talking about wanting to unload a handgun into a white person's head or whatever it was, check with CNN, and you write the licensure board, or you write these different places, Yale, Harvard, and you use white negative language, they're just going to see that and it's going to go right in the trash. They're going to say, look at this crazed maniac. But when you write from our story with the righteous indignation of morality, and they see a groundswell of people who are righteously indignant, they take action. And this is proof positive of it. Now, rest assured, there'll be moments when they push back, but nonetheless, as Nathaniel points out there, it is evidence that, again, more evidence that what we are doing works. Dr. Dinger, who is here today, says, I just realized I never got to thank the individual who guided me here to No White Guilt so long ago. What a chance encounter that led to so much greatness. Well, God bless you, and thank you so much for that, brother. That's a really wonderful thing to write. Thank you. And it's great to see you here tonight. And I think we might have Reptile with us. I don't know, but we have some comments. Hey, the great Roy Danton and John is with us. Hans Dons is with. Hey, the great Groundhog Fury is with us. Wow, the star. Everybody wants to know about all the more victories we have in the work that we do in service to white wellbeing. Franklin says many ant-nats prefer to lose than seen as, quote, cringe, it seems. Well, precisely. And I would say there, when they use that word cringe, again, it's just they're admitting they don't have an argument against it. They're saying it's like a team showing up, and before the game starts, or a wrestler or boxer showing up, and before the match starts, just saying forfeit, and they walk away. That's forfeit. Cringe is the synonym for forfeit. I mean, it's just give up, and they walk away. I would say, Franklin, that they're so used to losing that they are uncomfortable with winning. They are uncomfortable with victory. They are so used to losing as the villain in somebody else's story that stepping off of those pages out into the void, out into the unknown, into the work that we're doing here, that it is a scary thing for them. And it means that they're going to be deprived of what they believe gives them power, which are these roles in the books and in the movies and in the TV shows where the villain is propped up as this powerful thing to be feared. And of course, they only do that in stories so that the villain can be knocked down. Rhonda says, would you have Ed Dutton on Sunday to really get him to understand Go Free? I'd absolutely have him on. Do you speak with him? And if so, get back to me and let's try to make it happen. Rory is here. Promethean hails, he's right. And big Promethean hails to you. Harbinger says, Republicans buy us time, though, so we shouldn't rip them apart too much. Yeah, and that's exactly why we admonished people to vote for Donald Trump, because there was going to be. It's a calculation. There is harder to maybe reach people under, say, a Donald Trump presidency, but more time to reach them. But we're seeing now with the clampdown that we spoke amply about on Going Free on Sundays, that the Biden administration is doing everything that we said they would. It is as ruthlessly anti-white as we said it would be. So no surprise here. But remember, from all of these other little talking heads out there that claim to be so profound of thought, they all got that horribly wrong. I mean, please, let's not forget how horribly wrong they were. We were talking about here about how the old paradigm is gone. So this idea that if a Democrat and that what they were all saying, if a Democrat gets into office, well, then there'll be this huge groundswell, this huge pushback. And we said, no, that's gone. In the future, they'll say that's when it died. Being able to see it when it happens is something that's much harder to do. And we did it again and again. So let's roll. And there's nothing, there's nothing wrong. In fact, you should tout your successes, especially in an environment like this, where we are measured by a completely new metric. So we have to be able to tout our successes. Bikini Bandit says, sorry, this separate issue from Sven's. Please watch the stream with Nick Griffin and Jada Franson on Purge TV. I don't know about it. I will capture this though, and I'll see if I can take a look once we're done here. And I will get back to these comments, and we'll get to this story, and we will then roll out of here. How's the great Slaughts is with us, and so is Fit and Healthy at Any Age. Promethean hails to you both. Slaughts says, you have a great ability to see huge financial gifts and contain your excitement until it's their turn. You have a great ability to see huge financial gifts and contain your excitement until it's their turn. That's true. But we celebrate everybody. Everybody who does what they are able to do in service to White Wellbeing. Remember, it was somebody designed a sticker. I still don't know who this is. Designed a sticker and then posted that sticker on the back of a sign that was seen by Andrew Torba and ended up being seen. He retweeted that everywhere and then, or gabbed it everywhere and then regabbed it. So that one person, mega champion. You never know how far you can go with your service. So Promethean hails to you both. Let's keep, hey, look at the great Mrs. Jess Horson. Oh my God, HB 2014 is here, folks. Let's get a big round of raucous emojis for HB, all the hard work he does making these fantastic clips that we need to share widely. He's done over 1,000 clips over the years that he's been making clips of my time on the internet. So a real true champion, giving his time and energy and effort. Somebody who clearly cares about our well-being and cares about the weakest members of our community. Doesn't have a six-figure salary, but we'd like to get to that point, and that we keep marching that direction, and we very well may get to that point where all of those who are active are employees, but in some fashion. But he's doing that out of the love of his heart, and that's what makes him and all of you truly great individuals. And thank you all very much. Tyrone says, is that an image of sports ball on Jason's wall? Surely not. Yes, it was when I played sports ball. And I'm the one being carried in that photo. Reptile says, Promethean hails, brother. We are winning. We are indeed. You know, it's what's really funny, and I'm going to get back to this. We got some Reptile comments, is that these Ant-Nats and others who play the antagonist, they play the villain in the anti-white narrative in some form. They are beginning to use our lexicon, and it's just so it's so hilarious, because the whole time that they are saying you're cringe, you're awful, you're never going to do anything, you're a fed, says the female fed, you are a whatever it might be, you're a puppy. The whole time they're doing that, they're beginning to use the lexicon. So talk about 200 level IQ resistance against what the anti-whites are actually doing. That the very people, some of whom are going to be anti-white saboteurs, some of whom are going to be actual just morons, white sympathetics, they're ending up being overcome and by the lexicon and dialectics. Why? Because they work. So we will proceed. Reptile writes, every day, the Go Free lexicon spreads in print and conversation. It's being echoed through television, social media, and across transnational platforms. Finally, our people are becoming equipped to defend white well-being, both in thought and in speech. And through the heroic efforts of this wonderful community, one can almost feel the warmth of the coming Western sunrise. Beautifully written right there, brother. Get your sunglasses on, folks. Tomorrow looks bright. Gosh, Reptile is awesome. Reptile is a really smart guy, but I mean, if you haven't been able to tell already, we absolutely always draw the best from the other spheres. We always draw the best. It shows through so clearly. I mean, it's like, and you go over and you look at the chats, they've never looked great other places. I'm not saying horrible, but you know, they as we pluck more and more of the best out from these other areas, they just get dumber and dumber and cruder and uglier. Reptile continues, I'm personally witnessing those around me becoming unknown champions. Children are spreading the words anti-white and anti-whiteism. He's speaking directly to what I was just saying there. God is obviously on our side. I did not plan that. God is obviously working with us. Children are spreading the words anti-white and anti-whiteism within the school system. Friends have introduced it into their workplace and places of worship. Our efforts are being reflected everywhere. There's no stopping the message of love, hope, and redemption. The paradigm is shifting. God bless you, brother. And that wasn't all Reptile had to share. One more paragraph. Healthcare will only be one of the many services denied to our people. And this is his thoughts when we were talking about by 2030, I made the prediction that white people would be 49% of the population of the United States. Whether or not that is going to be true, or whether or not that was even my prediction, you need to ask the people at CNN or MSNBC or the Census Bureau. Who knows? So we were talking about healthcare and vis-a-vis the equity programs and the tools that are implemented to achieve equity, which we know is a meme pathogen, an anti-white idea, concept, etc. So a meme pathogen that undermines, harms us physically, mentally, spiritually, white erases us from our own civilization. So those tools, of course, to achieve equity would, if they're going to work the way they work every single other place, means that you're going to have to, the anti-whites are going to have to take things away in the form of healthcare. Reptile continues, I predict all subsidized, federalized, or institutional services, student and business loans, vehicle financing, tuition assistance, academic scholarships, medical and property insurance, disability, stipends, Social Security, etc., that it's all going to go away, all of which we provide the lion's share of funding to facilitate. These will be openly denied to our people, specifically on the basis of our race. That is a prediction by Reptile, and you will absolutely, I concur, you will absolutely see one ticked off at a time. They'll take them away to achieve, and they'll call it equity, the anti-white meme pathogen. Make sure you get voices from all sides who will be holding all of the different opinions. I'm just one guy out there, and Reptile's just one guy. We're sharing our opinions, sharing our views. So, but make sure you get the official information from CNN. I have it on every day, let me tell you, because the ear is against the door. Lefty Expat 23 writes this. I have been a wallflower for a long time on this channel. Now, this is going to be important because the beginning of this, the Lefty Expat starts off by saying he's been a wallflower. And Jared George, if he's still with us, will recognize we've mentioned this on tap numerous times. Yeah, if you're a wallflower, you want to be a wallflower, that's great. Be a wallflower. And so here we have one, Jared, that is stepping forward. I've been a wallflower for a long time on this channel. Finally got Go Free, the book. Finally got Go Free. And by the way, folks, iteration 2 of the second edition, just days away. Finally got Go Free, and I am happier in taking this practice to the next level. I'm happy in taking this practice to the next level. I've been using the lexicon at every chance I get IRL, even more than online. I usually get gratitude back from folks. The anti-whiteism is so blatant now. So note that Lefty Expat was just a wallflower. Finally says, all right, I'm going to get this Go Free book and I'm going to try it out. He gets the book, he gets the lexicon dialectics, starts using them. All those days before wasn't using them, starts using them. And he writes now, I usually get gratitude back from folks. Gratitude. The anti-whiteism is so blatant now, people are disgusted and shocked by it. The bad faith behind diversity and inclusion is undeniable. I call these things out as anti-white. Most people thank me for voicing their own thoughts and feelings. The term anti-white, as Jason says, is self-explanatory and intuitive. People get it and resonate with it. Well, thank you so much, Lefty Expat, for sharing that magnificent testimonial. And it should be for all of you who are hearing and you're a wallflower and you're wondering, should I really use this? Will I feel weird if I use these words? Well, Lefty Expat is telling you he usually gets gratitude. And I would imagine that the people who aren't openly expressing gratitude most of them are feeling gratitude because now they have a way to conceptualize, to put into words, to understand the world, to be where in our story where they can be moral and they can be a hero. Joseph writes, and he writes, relative to Morgoth, he is ignorant of the psychological techniques being used against us. What would Faust do won't save us. Go Free will. First level of our bondage is mental. Only going free unchains the mind. God bless you, Joseph, and thank you for sharing that. Folks, Joseph would not have shared that if it didn't unchain his mind. Joseph would not have shared that if he didn't see it unchaining the minds of those he communicates with when he's using the practice of going free. Joseph wouldn't have said that if he didn't see it working in forums and in live chats and in threads. All of these things are testimonials to the success. And by success, we mean moving closer and closer to the recapture of our destiny, to the success of these tools. That's what they are testimonials of. They're not testimonials to whether or not we look very much like a villain from this part of history or that part of history or this part of historical fiction or that part of historical fiction or absolute fiction. I guarantee you, if we wanted to start, and I see the times already, we're just going to have to leave this at the positives, I think. Maybe we'll come back to that story on Sunday or maybe discuss it with Semyagog tomorrow, but really running out of time. And I got to get rolling, and I'm going to take a look at everything you wrote here. But I want to guarantee you that if a couple of college nerds wanted to start a movement out of the villains of, I don't know, any movie over the past 10 years to combat something in the United States, I 100% guarantee you hordes of morons would move toward what they were creating. Hordes of morons. Because of the power that they believe they are infused with by the fiction. Since their subconscious mind cannot tell the difference, nobody's subconscious mind can, between fiction and reality. When they see the fiction and they see the menacing villain sitting on the black throne, all powerful, and everybody quaking before that villain, they feel like that's real. They feel like that's how others will see them. And then, in reality, they get on the bench press and they can't even do the barbell, 45 pounds. Cynthia writes here, my oldest sister bought the feminist lie and embraced it with fervor. With a PhD, she was the head of the religious department at elite prestigious prep schools. Elite prestigious prep schools. You think you're going to take your child out of city's school, the county school, and you're going to send them to some elite school, some religious school. It's worse there. Feeling white guilt, she decided to teach at a Navajo reservation, to teach disadvantaged children, because only non-white people in the anti-white narrative are ever disadvantaged. She discovered that the majority of the girls in her class were being molested and raped by mainly family members. Of course, and I'll just say, she says, of course, I'm going to say, of course, this is a claim that someone's making. I'm not saying that that's a fact. So please do check it out with the law enforcement, the Navajo leaders, CNN. Of course, she marched to the tribal leaders demanding that they address this. They blew her off. She went to the local sheriff, who told her that they were aware, but since they were, the Navajo, a sovereign nation, that the sheriffs had no jurisdiction. So she went back to the tribal leaders. They told her that she was white and to butt out. Do you think she learned her lesson? No. She went back to teaching white children that they were bad. She's retired now. She lives alone in a tiny house with her dog babies, several abortions. She made fun of and scoffed at me for being a stay-at-home, homeschooling mother of 5 children. She eventually disowned me. She still rants about the patriarchy. I'm the only child of my parents' 6 children that became a Christian. We were raised Catholic and lived a traditional life. Well, God bless you, Cynthia, for raising those 5 beautiful babies. I'm sure sons and daughters of the West. And if they have half your heart, they're going to be magnificent people. And this is how we can see families truly torn apart by anti-whiteism. And you see the outcome as well. And this vile woman who disowned Cynthia, and I say Cynthia really has no relation to her. They're spiritually very different people. She went on to do what? To harm as many white people as she possibly could. What a wretched human being she was. But thank you, Cynthia, for all that you've done. Big applause. Let's get a round of raucous emojis for Cynthia and the sacrifices that she made in her life, and the glorious work that she dedicated her life to, raising a healthy, happy white family. God bless you. The great Promethean epoch writes here, ladies and gentlemen. My first attempt to write this got deleted by YouTube, so I will keep this one concise. Your comments about the betrayal white women have inflicted on Western kind is spot on. Again, God must be with us. I'm telling you, not must be, God is obviously with us. I didn't plan that. Here we're talking about Cynthia, a member or practitioner of going free. And as we say here, white women who are practitioners of going free, white positive, white women, best in the world. No connection to the criticism that we give to the white women outside this sphere, like Cynthia's sister. I will go back to the beginning of that sentence. Your comments about the betrayal white women have inflicted on Western kind is spot on. And this is why I like you, Jason. You say what is true and you don't care what others will say. The female worship in the West, and to a large extent, the white movements, is disgusting. Promethean epoch. Thank you so much for your comment. Everything you have done. I really, grand champion, and has really given a lot of time, intelligence, and talents of his service to the recapture of our destiny. We love you, brother. Thank you so much for that. Yes, it's true. I incur a lot of enmity, and you see these anti-whites, well, not just, it's more than just the anti-whites. It's these white sympathetics who are incessantly traducing me because I will speak out against things that need to be spoken out against. And that's what we will do, because we need to right this ship before it's too late. And there's no more time for appeasing or placating things that are dangerous or deadly or ruinous for people's lives. We have to tell the truth. And when people can't handle the truth, they need to get the hell out until they can. That's the beauty of it. When the truth hurts, it does because it should. And then you grow if you're able to embrace the truth. If you're never able to embrace the truth, then we don't want you anyhow, because you're just going to be a burden on us. We're not gonna all sit around and feign some imaginary world like almost all of us had to do for our sisters or our mothers or our female cousins or whatever it was. If the girls started getting upset, we all had to feign that everything was whatever she needed it to be. Well, we're not doing that anymore. Men and women stand shoulder to shoulder. There's no more of this setting women up as though they are all angels and incapable of doing wrong. They're just like men. There are angelic women and angelic men. There are demonic women and demonic men. That's the reality. Don't like it? Kiss off. Mike Fitzgerald writes here, thank you for posting this. I am glad a friend shared this with me. I just wished he did not post on my Facebook profile. My normie mother forced me to shut my profile down. Well, there you have a mother, a vague out there, Mike, who needs to come around. Maybe you need to purchase Go Free for her. Maybe you need to have her watch some of the FAQ that we have on here for Going Free, so that she can see that. And I think Mike is in his 20s, by the way. So that, and we have one more to read here, and then we're going to see what you all have to say and wrap it up. Bring her over to the FAQ. Naderific and Nathaniel did a just splendid job in the most recent one. Of course, Raymond Foster's creation. So show her some of those and maybe some of the poetry, and she'll begin to see that, well, we're actually three-dimensional people. And really what's happening almost assuredly with Mike's mother is she is fearing the reprisal, the attack by the anti-whites for not being anti-white enough. And so that's where you take the opportunity to point out that that there is such a thing as an anti-white narrative, Mom. And in the anti-white narrative, it says that white men control all things for the benefit of white people. But here we see you, Mom, terrified about the response from anti-whites. So is the anti-white narrative true? And the rest of that conversation really is of this importance. The importance for her learning about the anti-white narrative up here. It's a premise, an unspoken premise. Well, it's spoken, but the power of that of that premise is unspoken, and it will resonate and sit with her from then on out. Bonnie Blue Lass, the great Bonnie Blue Lass, another just stupendous champion, scintillating like a diamond on a clear sunrise, writes here, Western medicine was invented by Western kind, and it has saved billions of lives worldwide. But like every once great Western institution, the medical system has been taken over by ungrateful anti-whites, many of whom are non-white, who despise us. Like that lunatic psychiatrist, Kiliani, who wants to murder white people, presumably including her white patients. A wise older lady once told me, quote, you do not have to be sick to die. You can live a healthy life and then die peacefully of old age, close quote. She is right, and plenty of people do exactly that. You just don't hear about them because anti-whites want you dependent on their system. If I need health care, I get it. Regular checkups are probably a good idea, but I also do everything I can to keep myself healthy as well. And I'm much better at that now that I'm going free. This woman can write. That woman can write. God bless you, sister. Let's see what you all have to say over here really quickly. Wow. Let's get a wild, raucous round of emojis for Hallandir, who financially gifted $100. 100 US dollars. God bless you. Saying everything you wanted to say with that $100. Bless you so very much. 100 US dollars. And thank you all for celebrating Hallandir and that financial gift to White Wellbeing. Yiz the Eunuch is with us, ladies and gentlemen, financially gifting $3 US. Thank you, sister. I sent you another testimonial email this week about spreading the Go Free lexicon to another small content creator and her audience. You can share it if you like. It's short and safe. I'll share it, but we're going to share it on Sunday, sister, because we are out of time today. But God bless you. I did see it. And use the eunuch, folks. I'm talk about if you were at like the Olympics and you kept seeing the same person show up on the stage getting medals, you'd be surprised. And that's Yiz. You'd be like, wait, how in the powerlifting and in the 100-meter dash? How? Tall Kevin, the great Tall Kevin's with us, ladies and gentlemen. $5 financial gift. We love you, brother. Vile people are commenting about Mark's family like that. When one side is attacking children and one side wants to stop the victimization of white children, you know what side is good and what side is evil incarnate. Very well written. Keep up the great work, Mark Collett. Yeah. So earlier when I was talking in our roll-in going free gathering here, I was talking about how Mark actually shut down his comment section on BitChute. And that was something he really did not want to do because he was really believed in the interaction being a boost. And but as I was saying, that interaction there in that comment section was an absolute septic tank, and they were incessantly going after me, and for years. And now they started going after Laura, and I think their coming baby, and Mark and his wife and their baby, talking about rape and all kinds of horrible things. So yeah, this is Tall Kevin is speaking to this, and you're right, they are evil incarnate. All the little turds swimming around in that septic tank that, but Mark detonated it, so there's no more septic tank for them to swim in, and I'm fine with that. Tall Kevin also back with another $3. Thank you, brother. You still don't know who made that sticker? Check your Twitter messages. Oh my gosh, was it Tall Kevin? Was it Tall Kevin who made that sticker? Jump into the question widget, brother. I'm not going to be able to check right now because the Twitter messages are, well, maybe. Did you write it just recently? If you just wrote it, I might be able to find it, but let's see. Oh, folks, let's get a very, very raucous round of emojis. Of course, it was Tall Kevin. It was Tall Kevin who made that sticker. Oh my God. And he hasn't said anything. He was just leaving it out there. Oh my God. He sent me a message months ago and then didn't say anything else to me. We've had him on phone on Going Free. That's a champion. They talk about that in Christianity all the time. When you can do a good deed and no one knows about it but God, then that's when you really know you're a good person. Tall Kevin has not taken credit for this. He sent a message that gets just buried, regrettably, in my messages, and hasn't said anything. He's been on the phone, hasn't said anything. And it was Tall Kevin all along. Well, God bless you, brother. Thank you for that. Folks, it was Tall Kevin. It was Tall Kevin designed that sticker of his own volition because of his service to White Wellbeing. This is a wonderful gentleman, wonderful wife and a little baby. My God, I'm out of time. I got to go. Damn it. God bless you and your family and your children. They're all wonderful. And what a champion you are in service to White Wellbeing. Gosh, this was great rolling in today, wasn't it, folks? Talk about nothing but victories. Tall Kevin designs a sticker, posts it somewhere, and Andrew Torba sees it. It can be like that for you, folks. You never know. You could post a sticker somewhere, and it might be that decamillionaire that we need, that centimillionaire that we need, that ends up saying, all right, Jason, I've taken a look. I didn't know who you were, but I saw this sign up. And so now we're going to take that organizational entity. Let's hear about those ideas. Let's make that happen. God bless you, brother. Thank you so much. Max Anderson, financially gifting $5. Thank you, brother. Always a great champion in service to white well-being. Can we use the word European in going free interchangeably with Western or white? The answer is no, not interchangeably. You can use it, of course, please do, in conversation. But European, the actionable definition, not your definition, Max, or my definition, or Jared George's definition, the actionable definition for our brothers and sisters, which are the ones we are speaking to, is anyone in Europe, anyone born in Europe or naturalized in Europe. That's the actionable definition. Very easy for anti-whites. I've seen them take it apart all the way down at the high school level. So people know what white means, and they're going to immediately understand Westman and Western kind. Try it out. They're not going to say to you, but don't let me just say this too, folks. When you use these terms, don't say it like a question. You just say it as it is. And that's how I say it, and it works. That's how Tall Kevin says it, and it works. That's how Jared George says it, and it works. You don't say, well, we Westman, or we're really being attacked. They're going to say, what, did you just make that up? No, just say Westmen are being attacked. And they'll say, if they don't immediately, and most people are not going to want to appear unintelligent or uneducated, rather. So they're going to say to themselves, ooh, I haven't heard that word before, but I can put it together. And they'll just go with you. Some people will say, which, Westman? And then you say, yeah, us. Westman, Western kind, that's us. And then they'll roll with it. They'll go with it. If they're an anti-white, vehement anti-white, then they will come after you. And they'll probably, I've had them shriek, how dare you? How, that's disgusting. So good. Anything that they're going to get pissed off about, is right. Thank you, Max, for that question, though, because that's a question that many people will want to know the answer to. The great Mrs. Jess Horse comes in with 2 financial gifts, and we are going to then take a very quick look to see if any other questions. Oh, I want to thank Brad C. We're going to be keeping it a secret unless he says otherwise. For his efforts in a direction that ended up in a consequence that was positive. So thank you very much, a great champion, Brad C. there, and intelligently writing and doing wonderful things. Big round of applause, raucous emojis for Brad C., a great champion. Thank you, good brother. Mrs. Jess Horse financially gifts twice 2 $3 donations. God bless you, sister. The first is, because if her white men and strong white women are able to stand firm as well. And then she writes, because of our white men being strong and heroes, our white women are able to stand firm. Precisely is what she's saying. So if the white men are able to be men, if we act like men, and whatever you do, guys out there of any age, don't look to any woman to tell you what it means to be a man. Regrettably, they will, they've learned that to be a man is to be subservient to a woman. And then when they know that there's something wrong with that, then they're just guessing. So you need to go to a man. So somebody you recognize as a man, and I will be happy to tell you, and I will be happy to continue to behave in the way that a man behaves. And how do I do that? I strive to be the man my father was. I strive to be the men that our most epic heroes have been throughout the ages. That's how you be a man. I mean, do you really think that Alexander the Great or Robert E. Lee or Thomas Jefferson or just go on and on? Do you really think they would cower before a woman and then ask for permission to do things? No, they wouldn't. But nor would they mistreat them. So men and women fit together like puzzle pieces. They do it emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, physically. That's the easiest one, of course, to see. So we also have No White Guilt Clips just came in with a $5 financial gift. Thank you so very much, brother. You are a true champion. All the work that you put in, all the effort that you put in making clips, and a big round of raucous emojis for you as well, brother. I'm going to swivel around here, and we have a financial gift on Cash App, and it is from NWG 1991. financially gifting $3.50. Thank you so very much. And writes here, thank you, brother. Well, God bless you. And thank you so very much. That's definitely, I have not seen you before unless you were under another name. And so thank you so very much for that financial gift. Might be the very first one. And we hope that you will grow in physical, mental, and spiritual power as you treat those meme pathogens that you are infected with, we all are infected with, and you will see for yourself, as have so many others, how you begin to change, how you begin to access that which you did not have access to before. Quick look at the question widget. Jonas, on your last stream, I've seen your lexicon being translated into Icelandic. That gives me an idea of attempting to translate it into Czech. Please go for it, brother. We have Baldur doing Icelandic, and what else? And then we have Afrikaans, and then we have Mr. V doing Spanish and Portuguese. So go for it, brother, and we will share it. He says it won't be easy, though. It's one thing knowing two languages, but doing translations is a totally different thing. Some things and concepts don't translate easily. Well, please get with Baldur and Mr. V, speak with them in the live chats, ask them about how they go about it. Because, yeah, in some cases, we are going to have to use the concept in English and then tell our audience that, saying like Czechia, tell your audience this is what it means. And they're bright people there. They'll be able to pick it up like that. They already know English words. They're already using English words and they know what they mean. So if it comes down to something like that, then you do that rather than see what, like Baldur, you can see when he's talking about these things, he's taking great pains to make sure that the intent of the concept is carried through to Icelandic, because it doesn't do you any good if you get something close. It's designed to work by a specific pathway relative to us physically, spiritually, and the psych warfare that's used against us. So you have to take the pains. It's better to just go with the English word and translate it if you think, and you know, with sentences, tell your audience what it means, than to give a single word or something of that nature that doesn't cut it. All right. Thank you so much, brother. And we have here Rimrep just coming in with 5 Canadian bacon dollars. And it's been so long since I've had Canadian bacon dollars. Donning Armor is here, brother. And you are first on the phones on this coming Sunday. Everybody loves Donning Armor. Great to see you. Lady Miss Coppertone, welcome to you. I don't think I've seen you before. And welcome. If I have, then I apologize. I mentioned you before. But great to see you. Rimrep, 5 Canadian bacon dollars writes, my province just mandated the jab, oh boy, and introduced passports for it. Oh, wow. I hate the regime, he writes, and will work harder to undermine it as a result of them doing this. Here's proof of it. Well, God bless you. That $5 decided in response, the 5 Canadian dollars in response to and a smiley face emoji. Here's the proof of it. Use the 5 key concepts when you talk about that subject or any others at a bare minimum. Go free, and I wish you the best luck in the world with this. And any of course, if there are ways that even mandated things, they're in different times, different periods, different places, there are allowances and exemptions. And of course, I agree with everything the WHO says, and I agree with everything the Canadian Health Department says, and everything the American Health Department says. And so whatever they say is good, and whatever they say to do, of course, we must immediately do. The ear is against the door. The ear is against the door. I'm going to swivel over here really quickly. Thank you so much for that, Rimrep. God, I'm feeling for those people in your province, you and those people. Donning Armor says, much love and respect, brother. Good. Thank you so much. Greek German American is with us. Great to see you, brother. He says we need to translate the lexicon into Greek and German too. Well, precisely. We've got to make this go everywhere. One country free itself, and it's not enough. Simon JJ, it's great to see you. And we read a comment from you earlier. Thank you, brother. Franklin says Australia is passing new draconian laws. NSN guys need to drop the villainy and go free. So the folks who are playing the villain in one variety or another, specifically here, anti-nationalists, they need to get out of that. Just get out of that mindset. I know it's an identity change, because this is not about these people. And Franklin knows exactly what I'm talking about. The Great Pants Monster is here. Great to see you, brother. Franklin knows exactly what I'm talking about. They think it has something to do with optics, what we're doing. And that's how, when you hear them say that, you know how wrong they are, how they're in just another head up their ass zone. We are doing our very best to portray as lucidly, as clearly as we can, who and what we truly are. And that, of course, is lovers of our people, who care about all peoples, who care about the wildlife, who care about the environment. Great Western Renaissance is with us. That's the only way we have a chance of making a difference in the world, is to find in ourselves that place of truest love, truest pristine beauty for our people, for our children, for our duty to those who have gone before us. It's no small feat to be able, or to not just to be able, but to shed that ugly attire that we've put on ourselves when we decide to be the antagonist in their story. Some people it takes longer. Some people will never be able to come out of that because they've just been there so long and they've invested so much of themselves and they can't see life any other way. But when they say, oh, it's about optics, it's optics cucking, you know that their head is so far up their ass, they don't need to work at the sewage plant in order to smell it. And finally, we have here, Greek German American says, did you hear of Paul Miller, the Ant-Nat villain who is imprisoned now? I think so. I think I know who that guy is. Yeah. We don't need our young men and women doing stupid, ugly things and going to jail, and then all the horror of that. We need them going free, becoming better versions of themselves, starting families if that's in the cards for them, but most importantly, helping themselves and all of us, and therefore back again themselves, to recapture that destiny that has been stolen from us, what the anti-whites have worked so long and hard at. We are going to undermine. I love every single one of you. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. with Semiagog and Mr. Jared George, of course. And then I'll be back on Sunday with another Going Free. Roll out.